Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristi Shive, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Courtney Luecking. She's an extension specialist for health and nutrition for the University of Kentucky. Do you have any suggestions for how we can navigate talking about dessert with our children?
Yes, who doesn't love a sweet treat? And truthfully, it's like from Halloween on, it seems like there is something seasonally for all of the holidays. And so it can make it feel more challenging when there's just an increased presence and offering. But if we continue to put dessert on this pedestal or give it more value, then it can make it seem like it's forbidden. When the reality is, we can build dessert into part of a balanced eating pattern. And that balanced eating pattern includes a variety of fruit and vegetables, whole grains, low-fat dairies, whether that's from plants and or animals, and protein sources from plants and animals. And we can loop dessert in there. And so we can talk about some ways to normalize including dessert.
Yes, it's hard for children to understand why it's important to limit these desserts. So I like the idea of not making dessert off limit.
Yeah. So talking about it is kind of usually the first thing, right? It's like, how do we navigate this? And so we have a tendency to label foods as good or bad or healthy or unhealthy. And so I'd like to challenge ourselves to steer away from that. Because in reality, foods are so much more than one or the other. They're not all good, they're not all bad, right? And children learn through categories. So as we categorize things, that's how they're going to start to understand them. So instead, let's talk about what do they taste like? What do they look like? Where did this food come from? What do they smell like? What do they sound like when we're chewing them? What do they feel like in our hands or our mouths? Is the chocolate melting in our hand or our mouth? And what do these foods do for our body? So those are important ways that we can talk about the actual food and what it does rather than simply good or bad.
Courtney, what suggestions do you have for offering slash serving dessert?
Yes. So let's talk about including meal dessert with something. So as part of a meal rather than like what Taco Bell used to coin as that fourth meal. Because if we're eating it separately, we oftentimes will eat a lot more. Whereas if we just put it on a plate, it can just be part of that rather than something special or extra or additional. This helps take it out of being such a big deal. It helps build it into that eating pattern. And then again, sticking with those regular meals and snacks. I feel like I say this every time I visit you, but it's just because it's so important to keep kids on that schedule and routine, and it helps keep them full and, less of these ups and downs of the blood sugar. And so keeping that more stable and then offering choices. Would you prefer this or that? If we're going to be overwhelmed with these sweet treats throughout the day or the week, giving children choices. Would you like that now? Would you like it later? And then make sure you stay consistent. I think you and I were talking about some big feelings when we say no or not right now. And that's really, you could say not right now or not today, or we're not having candy today. There could be some big feelings, but the more consistent you are over time, then it can be less of an issue.
Courtney, how important is our language when it comes to food? Because I think that is something that I have really learned from you.
Yes, the ways that we talk about food matters. And so I think it's more fun and kids will understand better if we can talk about these orange carrots are going to help our eyes see, or this raw carrot is crunchy when I chew it. Or this waffle is going to give me energy to learn in school. Let's put some peanut butter on there to fill our bellies, maybe some chocolate chips to make it taste even better. So we can just talk about what the food is doing and create a healthier relationship around food for our children.
And Courtney, you sent to me in an email that desserts are delicious and deserve to be enjoyed. So let them eat the treats, let them eat the cake, and we can do that all in a balance. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for joining us today on the Farm and Home Show. As always, contact your local extension office for more information.